Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
All right, please note that the language and ideas presented on the show might not be suitable for everyone. If you're under 18, make sure your mom isn't around. If you're over 80, why is your mom around?
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
All right, we meet Munaf Kapadia and his lovely mother Nafisa. The brains behind the Bohri Kitchen, an experience we actually go and eat in their house, in a real authentic Bohri house, real authentic Bohri food, and real authentic Bohri prices.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
Yes, here on Cyrus Says, it's time to pick an old Indian tradition and say enough. And I'm talking of taking off your shoes when you enter somebody's house. Why do you do that? Let me just explain to you. I've checked the hygiene levels. The worst hygiene is your hair. Your hair is what should be removed when you enter somebody's house. That's where all the germs and bacteria are. Second is your groin. Pull at your groin and see the reaction from the people you've just entered, whose house you've just entered. Okay, just try it. Pull at your groin and see what happens to them. But taking off the shoes is a pointless exercise, and don't forget that your feet will smell if you spend many hours inside those shoes. So I'm against it. We've moved to the 21st century. Do not remove the shoes. If you're close enough to the people, remove something else. But do not remove your shoes. It's called Cyrus Says. By the way, I've removed my shoes only for this program because of the studio requirements. It's soundproofing issues and things like that, so I have to make no noise when I enter. Hence, please forgive me for sounding a bit hypocritical. But don't remove your shoes.
And that's what Cyrus says.
All right, for all of you out there who love health foods and salads and all the kind of food that keeps your waistline in, today the show is not for you. We've got a man who's going to give us good old-fashioned, fantastic Bohri food. He started a thing called the Bohri Kitchen. But let's introduce him. His name is Munaf Kapadia. I thought you were Munaf Patel first, but of course you're not. He's a fast bowler who we will never allow into the studio. What with the IPL playing with the water shortage in India. I mean, how dare you play cricket when people are dying? Although I don't see the connection. Anyway, let's move on. Munaf, welcome to Cyrus Says. This is an award-winning show. And when I say award-winning, it's because I've given myself awards from time to time. And we try to talk to people or meet people who are doing really interesting things. And our researchers, who are 7 children under the age of 5, have come up with this fantastic concept called the Bohri Kitchen that they discovered and said that we must feature you. Now, I'm going to first throw it open and ask you to just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the Bohri Kitchen. But after that, there'll be investigative questions, interrogation style. All right, because we need to know everything from ingredients to pricing.
Absolutely.
Munaf, the stage is yours.
Hey, Cyrus. Thanks for having me here. So TBK, the Bohri Kitchen is actually, it's more about my mom and less about me.
Right.
This is something we started a year and 4 months back.
Okay. Now, when you say we, it's you and your mom.
Yes, me and my mom and my dad, okay, who helps out.
Okay.
Basically, the idea was that I got bored of watching my mom sit at home on the weekends and watch Sasbahu shows.
Right.
She's a super talented, energetic, entrepreneurial woman.
Yeah, and the kind of Sasbahu shows that are left on TV are just disgusting now.
Exactly, yeah.
They're worse than Rakhi Sawan conversations. We have to stop them. Okay. So you felt she was wasting her time. This is typical of today's generation where the kids look at the parents and say, Mom, you're wasting your life. It's about time you do something with it. And
I decided that, so we've been experimenting with a bunch of things. Okay, we started home delivery of chocolates. Okay, but then I forgot to renew the website, so that tanked.
You forgot to renew the website?
So that was a fail.
But for a second, let's just go to that. Did that work for a while?
Yeah,
You're getting orders?
Couple of deliveries a day. So it wasn't really a success, but it was something.
But you have to give it time, boss. It can't just open and be a success.
Especially if you forget to renew the domain name, which finally was catching on. So,
fair enough. What was the domain name, by the way?
So we started with Cocoa Concoctions. People started calling me saying Cocoa Connections hai kya? So then I cancelled that and we switched to Mom-Made Chocolates, which really worked.
Mom-Made Chocolates.
And that then I forgot.
That's not a metaphor for any body part or something. It's scary.
I hope not.
A huge silence from Munaf. Awkward moment in our show. Awkward moment number 854.
I think I subconsciously decided not to renew the website because I realized that.
Maybe. But going back to the first name, what is it with us Indians that we don't bother to listen to the name? Okay, why would they think it's connections in the first place? And they can even read it, by the way. So, I don't understand how people can just go wrong.
Because I think Cocoa Connections is a far more exciting business idea than Cocoa Concoctions, which is a homemade chocolate.
No one knows the word concoction. It's just a word that escaped English language class when they were growing up. But I had the same problem. You might also, because you have a slightly odd name, Munaf. My name, Cyrus, for many non-Parsis is difficult to pick up sometimes.
What?
So when they call up, they'll say Simon, Sailesh, Saibal. I've had enough of that all my life. I just agree now. Because I don't want to get frustrated and angry. I just agree with whatever name they come up with.
Yeah.
Did you have that problem with Munaf?
Not really, no.
No? Well, what could they mistake Munaf for? It's a very exotically different sounding name.
So, the only thing that happens which is exciting with my name is people ask me what does it mean. So, I've Googled it obviously.
You had to Google it. Mom and dad didn't have time between Sasbo and making food. Yeah.
I have too many controversial things that have come from home regarding my name meaning. Okay, so my parents tell me it means full stop. Which says something because I've 3 other siblings. So, who are elder to me.
So you're the last one. Ah, very good.
Makes sense.
So now I've got it. I figured it out. Your dad was shouting, enough, enough. 4 kids is more than enough. And, misheard it and enough became Munaf. It's a very simple mistake. You want to try it as an experiment? I'll be your dad. Enough, enough, enough. So couch. Munaf. And there, Munaf was born. We've got it. We had the moment. Munaf, you're the only one laughing at this ridiculous explanation to your name. But let's move on from Munaf the name to Munaf the household name, as you soon will be with the Bohri Kitchen. So people think we're trying to joke about this, but this is not a joke at all. You actually are the senior sort of citizen in the house, looking at your mother, growing up, and perhaps your friends must have liked the food at home. So you know very well that she's got that talent.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? And so from a business perspective, you suddenly realize that, hey, what the hell, let's exploit this.
So, ironically, when it started, it wasn't a business idea because it's not scalable at all. So what we did was...
Why is it not scalable? There's only one person cooking.
Exactly.
Ooh, Dikra, you must think about these things before you start. Do you have any mommies and do you have any other relatives who are good? I mean, maybe that could help.
We've got through all of that. So in a nutshell, when we started, it was about, hey, how do I keep mom busy? And how do I actually give her...
Get mom off your back. You designed a business. You're very interesting, man. Go on, Munaf.
So we started by actually... I sent an email to 50 of my friends. I basically spammed them. Saying that, hey guys, $700 a seat. This is the menu. You've been coming to my house eating this for free, but now I'm going to charge you for it. Did you want to come? And we didn't tell my dad. In fact, I'm not sure if I told my mom even when I did this the first time.
You didn't tell your mom and you charged tickets for entrance to your house. And
exactly.
Was there enough food in case people came?
So, how things work in my house, and Cyrus, you need to figure this out and come over, is the Kapadia household always has food. There's infinite amounts of food. We just keep on making food. Like my mom just loves to make food at scale. There are 2 people at home, she'll make food for 6 people. It just comes naturally to her. So we distribute it in the building, we do this, we do that. And that's the kind of family I belong to. So this came very naturally to her and to my father eventually, where I sent this email out. A few hours later, this lady I've never spoken to before, which is one of the benefits of running the Bohri Kitchen. Okay, she calls me and says that, hey, I want to get 6 people over to your restaurant. So I was like,
Restaurant? Well, yeah, okay, in the fullness of the word.
So I was like, I'm really sorry, this is not a restaurant. This is my house. We're inviting you home. Do you still want to come? She's like, absolutely, even more. This is so exciting. So I said, wait a second, who are you? Because I don't know who she is. And she said, through this friend, etc., I've come to you, and I verified all of this, and she turned out to be a perfectly non-serial killer person. And they came.
You're really worried about a serial killer coming for Bohri Khana?
We have a policy, a very serious, the most serious policy.
How do you vet people anyway?
Facebook is the latest thing that we started doing. So
what, you'll go Google them, what will you do?
So we actually, from now on, whatever applications we invite, they come through Facebook and they introduce themselves. They give us like 2 paragraphs about who they are. I'm the branch manager for HDFC.
Then you double verify it and only then you let them come in. Man, you're like a club, yeah? It's exclusive.
It's called the no serial killer policy at the Bohri Kitchen.
I think it's a perfectly good policy. Why take a chance?
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it's just a meal. Yeah.
Because the scariest thing about TBK is we invite people into our house.
Yeah.
For example, we have a TBK happening as we speak right now and I'm not at home.
But don't you feel a little invasion of privacy? I honestly hate people coming to my house, including my own parents who live there. I'm always like, okay, nobody's here. I pretend, I put all the lights off. I've done it all the time. I don't know if you've done it, but a lot of us have this problem that, when we're social, we're social. But when we're home, we're not necessarily social. We just want to be alone and private. So doesn't it kill the moment sometimes? Because, now as you get popular, that whole idea of privacy has gone out of the window.
So luckily what's happened is we've been very strict about irrespective of demand. We only do it once or twice a week.
But then how will you make money, brother?
That's the interesting part. So TBK started like this. I invited people, and the reaction.
Okay, sorry, I interrupted you. The lady came in. Let's just finish that story.
Oh.
She came in. You vetted her now. You figured out also through a friend of yours or whatever, so you could have double checked there. She came in with 6 people.
Yes.
This was your first meal.
Yes.
Mummy doesn't know.
Yes.
What happens?
So once the booking came, I obviously told my mom, and she's like, okay, why not? I'm anyways going to make food. I'll make some more kaju chicken.
But you told her you're charging them money.
Yes.
She was
My
okay
mom-
with.
my
She was okay with the
mom's a
idea.
rock star, yeah. She's cool with everything. So,
Okay.
They came. We didn't tell my dad. That's the interesting part. So I told
But he
my-
must have been worried about service charge, extra VAT.
No.
including all
My
these in the bill.
father will simple logic of how can you charge somebody to eat food in your house?
Yeah, true.
Call them. Call as many people as you want, whenever you want. That's fine. Whoever they are. But don't
Also,
charge
he must
them.
have been thinking, if this was a good idea, I've wasted 45 years of guests. That's a lot of money, brother. Oh, God.
The opportunity cost. Yeah.
Oops. Yeah.
And he's a hardcore
So
business.
you should, and he has his own business in any case. Right? So only mom knows, and they enter.
So they come.
Were you a little worried the first time? You must have been a little worried.
Very worried. Okay, they come and perfectly
Nice people?
Very nice people. Advertising industry, this, that, etc.
Yeah.
Really cool, interesting guys. And they come and we sit around the dining table, okay, in a flat. And my mom gets the food and she joins us also. And it's like a regular meal for me.
Okay.
But
So,
these-
there's no special treatment. They're sitting at the dining table, the normal cutlery,
Yeah.
the normal thing, and
Yes.
the family members come and go.
Exactly. That was the first TBK in December 2014. And we just eat and we have a nice conversation. And then the reaction to the food just completely blew us away. They hugged my mom.
But they obviously had some idea of Bohri Khana, because the whole idea here is Bohri Khana as a cuisine. They had some idea what they were coming to, or were they adventurous and thinking, what the hell, let's try something new.
So what I've realized, since the 1 year that we've been doing this, is most people who come, the Bohri food they've tasted is at weddings.
Correct.
99%.
And you have to fight for that taal and
Exactly,
all that. With all due respect to the community, sometimes, the pag apni, and before you know it, one old 75-year-old man becomes like a bloody killer, pulls your arm, pushes your chest, and takes the leg piece. Why, man? It's a real leveling ground, isn't it?
It's part of the experience.
Yeah, it is. That would have been a good idea also at home, by the way, because the taal
that's-
is something else.
So that's what we've now started doing. But so when we started, it was just like a time pass, 5-6 people thing.
No, but sorry, I keep interrupting. So these guys are here, they're sitting around, and they eat it, and they hug your mom, right?
Yes, they hug
What did
my
you
mom.
serve them? What was the? Do you remember the dish you served? What was the main dish?
The one dish I remember is we served them kaju chicken. Okay,
Oh,
so
nice.
chicken and thick
Lovely.
cashew nut gravy with egg garlic.
Yeah. Oof.
Which is my favorite also.
Yeah.
So we did all that. They react really well, okay, and then they go crazy on Facebook and they talk about us and they just keep on
Pushing the vehicle.
Yeah, and the cool thing was, this is especially interesting in my house because it's 4 of us, okay, 4 siblings,
Right.
2 brothers, 2 sisters,
Right.
and my father, and we've never acknowledged my mom's food. We've just taken it for granted.
Right.
The acknowledgement that comes in is through like office colleagues or this or that, and the typical fun stuff which anyone's mom or wife or
Right.
whatever goes through. But this was something else, and my mom, I saw my mom's
So
reaction.
your mom
to
became a
this.
star. It's almost like a release of a play or something,
Huh.
or a movie, and she's now the star.
Exactly, and for me, who's this son who just wants to, for all of us who just wanted to see my mom do something, this was amazing. We're like,
So your mom finds meaning in her life as the children grow old, thanks to the youngest child, young Munaf.
I wouldn't take credit for this at all. Okay, I think it's more my mom figured this out herself and she managed to.
But you see, you're the entrepreneur. You have to put. It's like Elvis and the guy who made Elvis.
Dude, I'm the
Colonel Parker.
I'm the MBA who's looking for a startup idea and also quit his MNC job.
You're the best MBA I've ever met because you exploit your own family. I think that's just wonderful thinking when you think about it. Well, I can think of a political party which does the same, but other than that, it's fantastic. It's very unique.
It's a secret formula that I've kept.
No, I want to ask you a big question here. Now, that first day, when they're sitting around, you're saying ad executives, so people from the same class of society, blah, blah.
Yeah.
They're sitting around, they're eating, they're enjoying the food. Obviously, you and the other, your brothers and sisters are helping with serving and...
It's only me and my mom.
Okay, so you're doing you're bringing the bartans in and out, is it?
Yes.
Do they, and please think about this, do they tip you? Because I don't know, this whole class issue in India, anywhere else in the world, it's easy. You tip. Whether you don't look at where they're coming from, if they're studying in college or not. But here, you're obviously a guy from a good background, etc. Do they tip you?
I got offered a tip once.
But in that first day, no.
No, never.
So, but once you were offered a tip.
By a foreigner who had come.
How sweet. So it's not even racism. He has no idea. All Indians look the same.
Exactly.
You can't blame him.
I think the mustache did it, I'm not sure.
Is it? Did you pull it? Son, give me 100 more. Did you take the money?
I actually got offended.
Why?
When he offered it. And then I quickly realized that, hey, this guy's not... it's a very different cultural thing for them.
It's a normal thing for them to do. The tipping is part of their culture.
So I had to explain that to him. He still kept on pushing and then I just put it in his
Next question. What clothes do you wear when because you're playing the role of the in-between, I suppose. So what, do you wear like a sort of uniform?
Very, very, very good question. So when we started, I wore what I'm wearing right now.
Short pants and a shirt.
Yeah.
So you look more like a ward boy. Let's just tell, because this is an audio medium, I want to just describe what's going on.
I actually don't comb my hair and stuff like that, so I fit into the role.
Yeah, a Rastafarian mixed hip-hop loving ward boy. This happens in upmarket hospitals.
But then I did go through a phase where I started wearing a kurta to try to make this more meaningful for the guests, but I very quickly realized it's too uncomfortable.
And that's too much, brother.
Yeah.
You got this whole lovely home, laid-back atmosphere, and suddenly you're putting on a performance here.
So what's happened with TBK is in a year, we've actually discovered the right balance. So now it's this beautiful, comfortable thing where we actually do a thal, but we do a hybrid thal.
Okay, let's quickly explain the thal concept for the non-Bohri communities who may listen. Will you just set it up?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, Bohris normally, the community, how we eat is we actually sit on the floor and we eat on this massive aluminium plate, aluminium steel plate, which is so big that 8 people can sit around at one plate. The plate is kept on a slightly elevated surface, so people have their feet sort of under it and we're sitting around it. And all of us kind of get territorial on the thal.
Yes.
So we mark these pizza slices, kind of territories.
And non-Bohris quickly learn the rules of the game, or they don't eat.
Or they don't survive.
Yeah.
So, and it's amazing, alright? Because what I've learned with TBK, because I've been forced to Google these things now, I had to Wikipedia Bohris and where we come from and the food and everything.
That's amazing. You had to learn about your culture in 5 minutes because you started something which is doing well.
Exactly, and I started appreciating it more. Like, there's a bloody science behind the way we eat, man.
Right.
So, for example, we start by tasting salt. Okay, why do we do this? It's a natural antibacterial and it activates your taste buds. So you kind of start drooling before the food comes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and there's a nice culture behind the salt tasting also. The youngest person in the thal gets to offer salt to everyone else. So that's how the youngest guy, who's probably the most shy, gets to introduce himself.
And breaks the ice, sort of.
And breaks the ice. It's insane. Second thing, after the salt, we follow this thing called kharas mithas, which is we alternate salty food with sweet food. Now,
but that is also the Chinese concept, right? That there might be some Bohri Chinese territorial issue which we have to look into.
I personally believe the Bohri cuisine is an amalgamation of all kinds of cuisines.
Right.
It's ultimately, we came from Yemen.
Right.
We settled down in Gujarat and then we came to Maharashtra. So our food is this bland Middle Eastern food.
And so nobody can ask you to leave Maharashtra because you've not come from North India. You've come from Yemen directly. So please, any right-wing parties who have issues, please understand they have not come from Bihar or Uttar Pradesh. We just get that clear. Yeah.
No kabab. Yeah.
Let's get back to the thal science. So we start with salt, then you have the sugar and salty crossover always.
So we alternate. So
Alternating,
what that means is we'll start with the smoked mutton keema samosas.
Oh, stop it. Oh, yummy.
Which is the savory item, which is a word I learned.
And by the way, which is a dying breed. For the samosa lover growing up, Mumbai, I've talked about Mumbai culture here for a second. We can't use the B word, but that used to be very popular. That's gone. Mutton is, when I was growing up, was very much there with the same chutney. So you have the mutton option, you have the veg option. Now the mutton is so scarce. You can't find it anywhere.
Except for at the Bohri.
Except for the Bohri, traditional, not even, I don't think there's any outlets though.
There will soon be. Okay, because
thanks to TB?
Okay.
There you go. We know how to build a brand here on Cyrus Says.
So, patti samosas, which is the traditional Bohri samosa.
Which you have to open.
So the way we do it is, so we made a story around it. Okay, so we tell people, hey, you can't just eat the samosa. You have to bite off a corner. You put limbu inside it. Because that's how the smoky flavor of the keema comes out.
You can never go wrong with that simple limbu.
Dude, seriously, man. Yeah. And then you eat it with chutney. Okay, so coming back to the kharas mithas thing. So we have a salty dish like the samosa, and we alternate it with a sweet dish like a firni or some sort of sweet chutney.
And this is in the middle of the meal, huh?
Yes.
We've not hit the big numbers yet.
Forget that. Forget the serious food. And the reason that salty, sweet, alternate tradition kind of thing is followed is very simple. It resets your taste buds.
Is that true?
It's beyond simple. So for example, you've eaten samosas and let's say a fried chicken, and then you've had a firni. Now if I want to serve you ran, just completely, it's like a whole new flavor enters your mouth.
But a ran will be a sweetish ran, won't it?
No. Like for example, a ran you guys are getting for lunch today is ran in red.
One sec. When you say you guys, sorry guys listening, whenever you downloaded this, you're not getting anything. All right, we don't have that much technology with us. We don't have it yet. Yeah.
I feel like doing a plug-in for the website, but
please do.
You guys can also get the rad at thebohrikitchen.com. Thank you so much.
But you must do it with a voiceover artist style. You guys can also find the Ran at thebohrikitchen.com. Call us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Thebohrikitchen.com. You like that?
Record that and use it for me.
Done. It's yours.
Right, so shit, yeah. So the rad, okay. It's again a salty.
So we call that a neutral dish.
Yes.
As against the samosa and the firni. So one is salty, one is
Sweet.
That's
That's in fact.
so salt, sweet, neutral.
Yeah.
So if it was a batting order, we'd have the openers would be salt and sweet. Number 3 would be neutral. Your main, main middle order sort of thing.
Yeah.
Excellent. So just now, we were talking about the thal, sorry. Again, about the whole community thing. So 8 people eat. The youngest one is the one who actually serves first. Serves the salt and breaks the ice. Then what happens?
So then, and the thal, just so people can visualize it, okay, it's not just an empty thal. There are condiments on the thal which are permanently part of it. So for example, you have these small bowls which will have a khajur chutney. Okay, they'll have a mint chutney, they'll have a salad, like a kokum aloo salad or a...
You have a salad? Get out of my studio! What kind of boring meal is this?
This is the real salad which has zero benefits.
Oh, zero benefits?
It's tasty. It's a tasty salad.
What is it? Tell me.
So for example, one of the dishes we're going to soon launch in home delivery is a Kashmiri aloo salad.
I love aloo. Aloo is a meat to me. Yeah. Aloo is also an aunt of mine, but that's another aloo.
Hello, auntie. Yeah.
Yes. Aloo is no longer.
Sorry.
But the concept of aloo lingers on forever. Yeah. So Kashmiri aloo is your salad. So there's no concept of salad. It's just an aloo dish.
Yeah. There's no health factor.
I love it. We just put a title on it, put a label on it, and keep going. Yeah, good.
Then,
Salad.
And then there's definitely a bowl of limbu. Okay, because you need limbu. That just keeps.
Limbu's playing a very big role in Bohri food, is it?
Massive role. Almost every second dish, I think, you have limbu on. And like that, you have condiments, and they just keep on. There's a pineapple raita, with bundi seeds on it and stuff.
Right.
So you'll always have these 6-7 condiments on the thal. We just keep on getting refilled.
And the raita goes with the rice, the biryani, or anything else, or with anything.
Condiments are just there.
So you can use that with everything that comes on your table or on the thing.
See, the objective behind a thal. Okay, and another interesting thing is each dish is served at a time. So you don't put all the dishes together. The condiments are permanently on the thal in small bowls. But you'll get one dish first. So you'll get samosas. People attack the samosas. It gets over. Then you get the next dish.
And tell everybody how they really attack the samosas. Because I've been in a couple of weddings where they actually, people actually have to sort of scrap to get the bigger piece or the better piece or the fresher piece.
So, like, some memories I have from my childhood, okay? It's always like that. People attack. But the beautiful thing is, people are always watching other people and whether they're getting food or not. So you'll always have at least 2 instances in every single thal on average. Okay,
but you feel bad if an old uncle of 70 plus grabs the same leg piece that you want, and then you've got it, and then for a second there's that war of the jungle between the 2 lions, the aging lion and the young lion, and then you give it up because of society and you let the older lion take it.
You don't give it up. No, you don't give it up. What happens is the third Bohri gentleman intervenes. He raises his hand. He tells the guy who's serving, boss, get an extra portion.
Right.
That's what happens. Okay, so that's the Bohri way, where food's infinite, literally, in every thal. And everyone gets their due. Sometimes,
and the customer has to be happy.
Yes. The Bohri customer.
The Bohri customer. Well, now the non-Bohris are eating at the thal as well. So now I remember this issue with a friend of mine who wanted to buy a flat, and he asked for a 3-bedroom thal kitchen. Munaf, don't even answer. Let's move on. Okay, coming back to the whole business idea now, the Bohri Kitchen. What happens to your friends who've eaten there all your life? Let's say Munaf has 40 friends, his regular friends, school, college, club, whatever. What happens to those guys who've been in and out of your house? I would feel really bad if now auntie, by the way, let's name your mom here. We haven't done that. Nafisa is the name of the wonderful chef turned entrepreneur, Munaf's mom, who's behind this, the artist behind this. So when the regular friends come into the house, the Kapadia house, I would, if I was one of your close friends growing up, what the hell, yaar? Suddenly your mom, who's like auntie to me, is now charging, well, you know what I'm saying? Isn't that a bit awkward?
So Cyrus, the key word out here is what you started with, which is Munaf had 40 friends.
Superb. Yeah, money comes first, brother. I'm with you.
So now what started to happen is, everyone knows the kind of wannabe businessman and entrepreneur I am. So they just call my mom directly now, or they call my dad, and then you never have to pay.
Is that so? So let's say there's a circle of friends who get away with it, and then there's a circle of friends who are not that close who will have to pay.
So I always do an equation in my head, is either pay me or how many Facebook likes will you get me.
Okay, so if they don't pay you, they have to do publicity for you.
Yes.
It's a fair deal. All right, let's talk a little bit now about the logistics of the food you cater to. You also cater to places, to other places?
So the next step of TBK. So TBK has been doing what I told you for the last 1 year, and now it's reached a stage where it's become fairly popular and we've been published, blah, blah, blah. And my mom's got a lot of good limelight.
When you say publish, what does that mean? In cookbooks?
No.
Or in men's urinals somewhere in a car, because that's scary. Come, check out the Kapadia house. I mean, that would be really scary. Although, listen, that's a good place to advertise subways and urinals and all that. I promise you, I don't mean this as a joke. It's really a time when you concentrate. You're peeing, you're looking straight ahead. If I see Kapadia 673222 Bohri Khana, it'll linger with me all day after that. And
I think it's a really good place for Coco connections to advertise.
yeah, maybe that's where it started. Yeah. All right. Okay. We'll move on to social. So, which is one of the biggest chains at the moment. Social, just you can't get a place to sit. Doing very well. The one in Kolaba, the one anywhere else. So, you deliver food to social, which is
right. So, TBK now as it evolves. Okay. So, a couple of months back, I quit my full-time job. Okay?
What, by the way, what was the full-time job?
So, I used to work in sales in Google.
Oh God! He let go of a Google job. I'm so sorry.
My father felt that he's gonna rejoice.
He cried. I'm not even your father. I'm crying too. I'm thinking, why can't you keep the job and still do this? You're Googling.
That's what I did for a year when we first started.
Right.
But then I realized that if I'm really going to do this properly and try my best to make it into a business, something scalable, then I need to commit to it, and that's what I did. So 4 months back I quit, and I'm very happy, and everyone in Google also supported me.
So where's your office? Your office, your restaurant, everything is home?
No. So now the next step with TBK is now I actually built a small team. Okay, so my mom's turning from someone who cooks the food to somebody who will supervise cooking.
And teach them, because that's the way you can scale.
Exactly. Yeah. So she becomes, I think the term for it is a sous chef or something like that. And I've got a co-founder also now.
You better check that sous chef. Or sometimes if you have food which makes you have a stomach upset or whatever, and you sue the chef, that's where the sous chef term comes from. So be very careful. I'm not sure if that's the right term. I think she's like the head chef, or like the, sort of like the chef that teaches other chefs. So
the artist.
Let's call her Shahenshah chef, or chef among chefs.
I'm writing that also.
Yeah, give us the rest of the show to figure this one out. But she's the big boss, the principal.
She's the master behind all this.
Okay.
But the business and the operations and the scale and logistics and everything is being put into place via me and a team that I built. So I've got a co-founder now, in Gurmeet Kochar, who runs 2 other food startups.
How can he be a co-founder if he wasn't part of the first deal?
That's not important. He's a co-founder.
He wanted the name or he would quit. So you kept it. Gurmeet, you'll be co-founder even though you came 10 years later.
No, it's actually the guy's so nice that he's not even asking for anything. It's me who's giving it.
But he doesn't sound like a Bohri from any angle. What does he know about Bohri?
No, don't say that.
Huh? He's a wannabe Bohri, is it?
Okay, so what he doesn't know about Bohri Khana, he more than makes up in knowing about operations.
Okay.
So he set up 2 food startups already. He has over 3-4 kitchens in Bombay itself, and
right.
now he's helping me set up TBK's first central kitchen based out of Worli. And what we're going to do is some of the food that my mom makes, we're trying to scale it by sending it for home delivery from Worli. Right. So our catering and everything will also.
But doesn't it kill the whole brand idea? Sorry to say this, of the whole experience. See, 75% is the food, but there's 25% of the ambience of going to a regular Bohri house and eating Bohri Khana around Bohri symbols, and
absolutely,
I mean that whole backdrop is involved.
So how I see it is,
you give them a poster with the food. TBK, we look like this.
Video or something.
Yeah, video.
How to eat video.
Simulate being in the house.
Like those shit. With the Google Cardboard thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good idea. Yeah, they put on those goggles and then you start eating and you think you're there at the Kapadia house. Yeah.
So that's a brilliant idea.
But when thinking about it, growing up in Mumbai, I felt there was not enough Bohri Khana being pushed out there. I have lots of Bohri friends. I live in Malba Hill, for God's sakes. I'm surrounded, growing up in school and college. But in the house, yes, you get the food. But there was very few caterers. There was one in Kapadia, I remember, one in Bandra. That's about it, where you could order, separate Bohri Khana as a deal for home.
And that's where the MBA and me decided to spend time on this, because I realized there is a gap. The
there
gap
is.
There's no Bohri brand which non-Bohris can relate to and order from. There are Bohri brands for Bohris. Like, there are a lot of caterers who Bohris get food from. But what about the non-Bohris? And TBK by fluke turned into that.
And TBK's whole loyalty is non-Bohris in any case.
99.9%.
Yeah.
I get very scared when Bohris come.
Yeah, oh my God.
Because
here comes the critic.
Because half the stuff I say I make up. Yeah?
Right, there you go.
Do anything. So they're like, hey dude.
I think that's a brilliant line, man. It's fantastic because your cuisine is always safe when it's a foreigner. When this damn real person comes in, he get exposed. Oops. Usually Bohri is not allowed. That should be the first step on the BK, the TBK. Tabak, as we call it. Well, we're going to take while Munaf and I laugh a bit, we'll take a quick break and we'll come back. Lots more to talk about in the second half, where we're going to look at logistics and how to make this brand grow, and how we can also join in and be equity partners with Munaf and Gurmeet, who loves the food but hasn't cooked it as of now. Any non-Bohris, as we want to break, any non-Bohris who are learning how to cook?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Take a break. We'll come back. It's Munaf, but not Patel.
Hey guys, this is Malika Singhania, co-founder of the blog Stylogram, where we cover trends, fashion forecasts, celebrity style, tips and tricks, and lots more cool stuff. So tune in every Thursday to the Stylogram podcast, your weekly style telegram, giving you the latest fashion and beauty stories that are relevant to you. You can also subscribe to our show on iTunes, SoundCloud, Audio Boom, or any other local podcast app. See you soon.
All right, Munaf Kapadia interrupted his flow there for a second, but we were talking about the logistics of now taking the brand beyond just, not just the great idea of being in the Bohri house and eating the ambience and all that, but you're now also doing orders. You're also doing orders for restaurants.
Yes.
So take us through all that.
So what's being set up right now is a full-fledged kitchen which can actually produce food and send it out to people within Bombay. So we'll have a limited menu.
So how do I order food now if I'm just somebody living in Khar, Mumbai, and I want to order your food?
So you have three options. Visit the website, thebohrikitchen.com.
And it's a daily menu which changes?
No, we have a fixed menu.
Okay.
Right now there's a very limited menu. You can just order for mutton, keema, samosas and raan. But hopefully in the next 2 weeks we'll even have a meal service. So there'll be so we're calling it, it's basically we've tried to...
A full meal package?
Yes. So we tried to simulate the thal into one person.
But will you give us that actual thal aluminium bucket feeling?
We'll give it to you to the extent that it'll have thal written on it.
Damn you. Indians, I tell you, take a concept and make it smaller. Excellent. Yeah. No, but I guess it'll be like a taste of a real thal. So for a person who's never been there, they'll be sort of prepared.
There'll be thal best practices behind it. There'll be a couple of...
Will there be literature sent in as well?
Yes.
Learn the experience. Yes. Understand what it's like. Become a Bohri in 20 minutes.
And then we offer a certificate.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So there'll be a meal and there'll be a couple of other biryanis. Okay.
So when you say meal, we're looking at a full meal, no?
Yes, so one person.
From samosas all the way to the full Monty, which could be the cashew chicken or the raan or the biryani or what have you.
So what we're going to try to do is basically the thal is split into 4 concepts. Okay, kharas, mithas, jaman, and a salad.
Okay. Where did this salad come from?
I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. But it's there.
Is it really there, or you put it there for your non-Bohris? Just
there's always a salad. The only thing is, Bohri salad, when you'll actually see it, is not healthy necessarily.
I always thought that the Bohri and Parsi experience is very similar. Kachumbar is everything. There's meat, and kachumbar. Growing up, I didn't know there was a vegetarian concept till about
MMK,
13. Yeah, MMK, good. Used to be a college. Now it's our food. All right. So you can order in a little while. We'll be able to order a full set meal for lunch and dinner.
Yeah, and a couple of other things we started playing around with is, for example, Riaz Amlani and Rizwan, the guys who run Impresario. They've actually given me this opportunity to plug in our samosas into their social outlets.
Yeah. Apparently, Riaz ate all the food at social. In one sitting. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
I'm going to ask him that. Right. So. And that was sweet, right?
And now that you mention him, Riaz, who by the way is half Parsi, as you know, Riaz catered to Prince William and whatever Mrs. William is called. Am I right?
They visited social.
They visited social, right? That's right. That's fantastic.
That's insane.
How did he do that? He's like a British citizen now. He doesn't have to live here anymore, mate. That's my Australian, I'm sorry.
So,
did they taste your food?
Yeah, of course.
So, did William and Mrs. William taste your...
Everyone keeps on asking me that they haven't... Because
but just say yes for the sake of building the brand. Let's do it again. Did they taste your Bohri khana?
No.
Damn you! You and the truth. How do we push the business? All right. So again, I interrupted you. Social and Riaz and some other brother Amlani, is it?
Rizwan, Riaz and Rizwan.
Okay.
They were really nice. They caught up with me at Todi one day and they said, dude, let's just do it. Okay, forget the money, etc. Let's just get this started and see if you have fun doing it and you'll also learn something. So I'm actually supplying something like 1,000 samosas a week to the 4 social outlets across Bombay.
I think samosa is a winner. I can't. There's nobody alive. I mean, of course, if they're veg, they won't eat the mutton. But other than that, there's nobody alive who will not eat a mutton samosa, including foreigners. It's just so tasty.
Yes, and Shobita, who runs their marketing, we came up with this fantastic idea where we made a flag with instructions on how to eat the samosas.
Lovely.
So we actually tell them by.
How dumb can someone be? It's just a triangle-shaped, small little thing. Your mouth is there, your hand is there. I mean, how dumb? Really?
Cyrus, a samosa not eaten the right way is an illegitimate samosa.
God, you're treating it like a wine now.
Exactly. And that's how you build a brand.
Another word for illegitimate is you bloody samosa! So come on, take us through the process. What do you need to do?
So for example, you need to bite off. So how would someone normally eat a samosa? They just like bite into it. And
2 bites and you're done.
Exactly, right? But the fact is, the mutton, what makes it special is it's smoked. It's actually smoked with a kolsa.
Oh, is it?
So, and the only way that smoky flavor comes out is if you add limbu in it.
So you have to cut the top, put the limbu in, like you mentioned.
So you bite off a corner, add limbu. It's like a grenade, you know. You bite off a corner.
Oopsie! In the world we live in now, perhaps a good metaphor. Yeah. So you bite off a bit, you put the limbu in, and you shake it obviously so the limbu goes everywhere. I'm presuming it has to dissolve.
We avoided the word shake it to avoid any possible
sexual connotation.
Yes, yeah.
I can see from the smile on your face, which is so long now. The moment I see sexual, he's laughing and screaming like a virgin. What the hell kind of attitude is that? No, but it's right. You got to get the samosa taste experience right. So you got to mix the limbu.
Right.
I presume you just keep pushing limbu in with every bite, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And then there's a nice mint chutney, which is made freshly. So it just goes well.
But the mint chutney is the key, Munaf, between you and me. Sometimes people get it wrong, and sometimes get it right. I mean, I'm talking about roadside places also. So that's a bit of a gamble.
So luckily, social gets it right. And how? And all of this fell into place really well. So now we started doing it. But the coolest thing for me out of all this is, like, I'm learning how to supply 1,000 samosas a week and more to social, you know.
But still, mom is making everything. I know she's teaching people.
No.
You've got people making.
Yes.
So the samosa at least is being made by others.
So now slowly, what I'm learning the hard way, and I'm struggling, but we are figuring it out thanks to Gurmeet and various other people who are helping us out, is how to formulate the recipe, how to train other people, how to actually get it made by others. And my mom still plays a vital role in QC. And that's
What is QC?
Quality check.
Quality check. Check with a CK, not QUE. Okay. So I'm just trying to understand this whole concept now. Now that you're also not outsourcing, you're sending food to other outlets. You can order the food at the same time. So it's now become like one of those online shops where you can do everything, right? But do we still have the experience of the Bohri Kitchen in the house, which will remain?
By my mom. So,
and that is your mom's very own personal hands cooking.
Exactly. So hopefully what will happen if things work out the way I'm trying to make it work, is we'll have TBK home dining, which maybe in 3 to 6 months, if like touch wood, if things work out, I want to reduce the number of times we do it, and I want to make it a charity only event. Okay, so it's like a once a week or once in 2 week event where because see, the money is not exciting at all as it is. But
plus, they're coming to your house. What if you're naked? What if you have a girl over? You know, what if you've just not shampooed your hair? I mean, think of all these things.
We have cameras, and we have the signal system and things like that which prevent.
You see somebody climbing out of your window and climbing down on a long rope and things like that.
So we put these like lasers and stuff that just cut.
Do the neighbors get upset?
No, they love it.
Yeah?
Yeah, everyone likes it. Luckily, I've just got lucky in multiple variables. I have a father who's supporting me, who's letting me use the house. I have a mom who's willing to cook the food.
Who's the key? She's the engine room.
I have neighbors who enjoy the fact that, you know, this is working. And just the community itself is also supporting me. So everything's working out. And I'm damn lucky for that. And the luckiest thing is, like, I could quit Google, man. You know, like,
I can't believe you quit Google. I want you to go back. I really do. I want you to, after this interview, I want you to go back. It's at BKC nearby. It won't take you long. Please go back. You can sit there, do nothing. Come on, this is a lovely job. You can sit there on your comp and you can just do everything from there. You don't have to be anywhere.
I did that for a year. But now we've reached a stage where I unfortunately have to do things like visit the kitchen and send samosas and figure out how to send it and stuff like that, which takes more time than I had before.
Why have you put the maximum limit to 14 friends for the house experience, for the Bohri Kitchen experience itself?
Because that's the idea.
So what if I want to have a party, I'm saying? Because you will make money then. Suppose I can bring 60 people in. Why can't we serve 60 people like a party? I mean, obviously not all the time, but whenever it's convenient.
So, because my house is finitely big, and there's only so much I can push my father and mother to.
But you've not thought of the idea occasionally?
So what we are entertaining is if people want to do like a 25 people event.
Right.
Then we can still figure it out. If it's a 60 people event, then we can do it, but it'll be outside.
See, we are Mumbaikars. They're used to, touching each other. You can say 25 people sit on each other's laps, so it's 12 people. Which is a normal experience. Maybe you could call it the Bohri Kitchen experience in the train.
Double deck.
Yeah, so you just push them all together, let them hold on to something on top, and you feed them with the other hand. There must be something we can do. We must get more people in.
Yeah, we need to discuss these alternate concepts later.
Or simply just use your friends' houses. How long does it take? Change a couple of paintings, picture of the father, grandfather, boom, it's done. and then, move your mother into the kitchen. You guys stand outside and you serve them.
Plug and play.
All right. So is your mom now become a bit of a star? Is it in the food world? People know her name, know of this concept.
I wouldn't say star.
No, apparently there are blogs, radio, TV channels.
Yes,
You've done some research in them, and you're out there.
Absolutely. So Nafisa Kapadia is a decently known name now. Unfortunately, her son is a loudmouth and he steals the limelight very well. Like my mom should have been here, but
Right.
I'm here.
I don't know. Now I really feel bad. I want you to go back to Google. Google your mom. Tell her to come here. All right, if you can.
Google hasn't invented that.
They haven't done it yet. It's so slow. Yeah.
That's what I drive with this car, yeah.
Okay, now let's ask you some of the other interesting questions. Obviously, now the business is growing, and on as I can see, in 3 different areas. One is the Bohri Kitchen stays. You need that. That's the central business, even though it's not your money-making business. Then, of course, you dial in food for a person's house. And I think going to all these different restaurants like Social, which actually have the guts to take on different cuisines and try out different things,
exactly.
which many don't, by the way. I think that's great. So, while all this is going on, is there anything else to expand the business that you've thought of?
So
I believe Bohri Khana is an unsung hero, one of the loveliest foods out there, which has not been pushed enough.
See, whatever this branches out into, in the next 2 to 3 months, the simple, non-negotiable is my vision with TBK, which is this is going to be the first brand which represents Bohri cuisine, which non-Bohris will relate to.
Okay.
And this is not just Bombay. TBK will turn into the brand that takes Bohri cuisine and culture to other cities which don't really know too much about Bohris. In Delhi, suddenly people understand what Bohri cuisine is and what culture is through this brand and what I'm going to do with this. And it all starts in Bombay. And how am I doing it right now? Home delivery of food, which seems like the most practical, scalable way of doing it, as well as B2B catering contracts, if I can crack that. And Impresario is the first one that happened.
And will you be catering to IPL teams?
Absolutely.
Without water, of course, because you don't need trouble on that front.
I have this connection, with Munaf Patel because we have the same first
name.
So I'm sure he'll...
he's dropped from all teams. He's now stuck in Bharuch, tilling the land.
Or should I need to change my first
You
name?
need to. Sachin he's a mentor. Get Virat. You're going to get the right name now. Yeah, right name that's out there. But before we wind up, there are a couple of other things we want to know about you personally, Munaf. So you obviously had a typical upbringing and all that, and you landed up in Google, so you're doing very well. But were you always a foodie? Was food something that you thought of, or just one day?
I've been told that I should say yes to that answer, but the answer is no.
Okay.
I'm not a foodie. I'm not allowed in the kitchen. I make a really good omelette.
Okay. So you're of no use to your mom?
Absolutely.
In the kitchen?
The first rule that my mom gave me when I asked
is get out.
Yes. Is you're not entering the kitchen. So I'm not a foodie really, but... I'm just a wannabe entrepreneur who also happens to want
You had a vision and you saw that India needed this. India was lacking in Bohri Khana. Bohri Khana is confined to Bohri weddings now. Even Bohri houses are eating less of it. So you said, no, enough. I need to push this out there. And in many ways, this is your cause. And it's a wonderful thing, I think, because too much time is wasted on nuclear proliferation and all the other problems we have, like water scarcity and drought and all that. I think about time we hit the real ones. And I'm saluting you and I'm standing by you and I'm going to order from you as well soon.
Fantastic.
I may not visit you though, because I'm a little scared to go to people's houses.
We'll figure that out.
I'll tell you, Munaf, I've got my own issues. I want to ask you a couple of things on this, in fact. And that is, if I go to somebody's house, when I first met my in-laws in Hyderabad, I was very scared because my father-in-law was from London School of Economics, very cultured, sophisticated man, spoke very softly. And I'm used to, just wearing a lungi and sadra and walking around and talking loudly and scratching my balls and all that. And that was not appreciated at all. Not even the ball scratching. So so I'm saying you go to somebody else's house, you have to temper your way, man. It just kills your personality. Can I come wearing my sadra and kasti into the Bohri Kitchen?
Absolutely.
Can I sit with my legs spread?
See, like I said, it's at TBK we're willing to compromise as long as it translates into Facebook.
As long as you're not a serial killer. Your standards are very low. Yeah. Bank robber, maybe. Corrupt politician, of course you're welcome, sir. But serial killer, sorry, we have to draw the line somewhere. Yeah. I want to ask you, after eating in traditional Bohri style, can we go and lie down and have a rest also? Or is that not looked on fondly?
So we call it the Bohri food coma.
Yes.
Yeah, BFC. We got t-shirts.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone, it's like a very typical thing. Everyone will ask me, hey, and they sit on the marble floor eventually, they forget their manners and everything.
Yeah.
And it's fine. And because I take photos and
they'll actually lie down and have a little siesta for 10 minutes.
And then I have this separate business model where I take all these photos and then I blackmail them separately through the shell company and stuff.
Right. That would work.
Yeah, it's a different...
Yeah. A person lying on their back after eating a full Bohri meal will not be in a very model-like posture. It will be something that you could probably squeeze them for.
Teeth and stuff.
Yeah.
Literally squeeze them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So they do lie down and sort of,
Everything happens. No, I take that statement.
Not everything happens, but people do lie down and because the food makes you feel a little sleepy, and I think that's a sign of a good meal.
So the typical joke that I crack is, you guys are welcome to use a room in my house, but I'll charge you Kulaba rentals. So that's why they get up and they leave.
Yeah. But let me just explain, let me clarify. When he says room, it's just to relax in, all right? Don't bring your friends and have a little party with an O. That's not allowed. Okay, what is the most sought after dish? What is the most popular so far?
So our mutton keema, samosas, and our raan, the TBK
Yes,
raan.
but how can we call mutton keema samosa a dish? I would like to call it a very interesting snack, which of course is very popular and probably will always be the most popular. But what is the big dish that one would associate and say, okay, now people are getting into this? Like, for example, the biryani is always the typical popular dish amongst Mughlai cuisine.
Yes. So, I would say, Bohri cuisine is divided into two parts. One is, there are dishes which you've heard of. For example, samosas, raan, biryani, you've heard of it already. Then there's this entire range of dishes which you've not heard of.
Like alifia, ambarin. sorry, go on.
This takes up good potential.
Listen, I grew up, I told you with so many Bohris, I'm almost a Bohri myself. Go on.
So, for example, there's a mutton undhiyu.
Oh yeah, I've had that.
Yeah, okay, there's mutton patwelia.
Yeah. And to think the famous undio for the vegetarian Gujaratis is so much different from the mutton undio. Another experience completely.
That's where the entire amalgamation of cuisine thing comes in, Guju food and Bohri.
Correct.
Then there is kaju chicken, there is chicken rosh. There's amazing vegetarian food, and I'm really sorry I have to bring this up in one of
You're ashamed as a Bohri. This is a shaming moment for the entire family, but do it. Hold your head up high because it has to be done.
Dude, some of my favorite Bohri food, and maybe this is bad for the brand right now, is vegetarian.
My God, I didn't think I'd live to hear this in my lifetime. My God, how this country has changed.
There's this thing called DCP.
In the garb of secularism, what all we have to say, yaar, enough is enough. Okay.
The vegetarian market is far bigger than
I know, you have to do it. So what is the dish? Take us through it anyway. Let me show real interest in it as well. Go on.
The acronym for it is DCP, okay, Dal Chawal Palidu.
Okay.
It's basically, it's a very simple dish, okay, it's rice made of tuar dal, and the same water that's used to make that rice is turned into a gravy with drumsticks in it. And that rice is then smoked with a kolsa. So when we actually unveil the dish on the thal, we lift the lid and all the smoke comes out and there's a burning coal inside. And it's served with a roasted papad. Okay, very simple dish, kicks ass. Okay, it's like people will eat the raan, they'll eat the biryani, they'll eat everything. But in the jaman, which is basically the finale, people will eat DCP. And they'll eat layers and layers and layers of it. It's like an all-time favorite in the Bohri.
And DCP is also for the non-Bohri palate.
Yes.
Is what we're trying to say as well.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just be clear here. It's not a non-veg fiesta only.
No.
There's plenty of vegetarian options, and as you grow, there'll be plenty more.
Yes.
So that 60% demographic will not be left out.
Yes, and my business will grow and scale.
And your business will grow. All are welcome. It's a secular experience. And if you ever do a real thal, I really want to be part of that because I love that idea. I hope that never goes out of the business.
And I hope so.
Yeah, because it's something, that I just love the idea of men from different walks of life and different backgrounds and economic backgrounds fighting over one piece of leg. I mean, that just brings you down to, like, in God's eyes, as one.
So one thing we do is we give them name tags.
Yeah.
And they're like, why do we have name tags? So I'm like, apart from the obvious reason, it's because when you're fighting over a raan, you can first name the person. Hey, Supriya, get away from that.
Fair enough. Why is Supriya grabbing my leg? Rascal. All right. Let's see what are the questions left to ask before we call in Amit Doshi. I think there are three important questions. The first one would be, what do you like eating?
My favorite is kaju chicken. It's by far the favorite. In fact, my parents accuse me of keeping on introducing kaju chicken into the menu because I like it and not necessarily because others like it.
Although I think because of the kaju, there's a slight sweetness to it.
Yes.
Which if you have a sweet tooth, you can't get. It's like the Dandal Patia and the Parsis.
Yes.
Once you get that taste, you can't get it out of your system.
Yeah.
There's a bit of that. The second question is, what is your favorite cuisine outside Bohri cuisine?
Yeah, man. Does Mughlai count because it's literally the...
Yeah, but Mughlai is done to death. I was hoping you'd give me something a little bit more. Mughlai is like everything. Okay, give me a dish. Give me a dish that you really like.
Dude, I'm a butter chicken.
Oh, you're a typical Mumbai boy.
Very
fair
typical
enough. And which is your favorite butter chicken house here? If you had to?
So it's not something you'd have heard of. So when we used to stay in Baikala,
right.
We had a bar on the ground floor.
I know most of the places in Baikala. Please tell me.
It's called Ashoka. Nagina and Ashoka.
Ashoka, I know. Yeah.
So they serve butter chicken, which probably is...
You would not try Sagar's butter chicken?
I don't think so. Man.
What are you saying?
Sagar is ahead, no?
Yeah, a little ahead.
No.
Sagar's butter chicken, fantastic.
Done sorted.
Then Gaylord's? On a good day, I think Gaylord's is as good as you get in Bombay.
Gaylord's butter chicken.
Gaylord's butter chicken, yes, in Churchgate.
But like after you have a pastry or butter chicken?
No, forget the pastry. That stupid pastry show they built later, the idiots. Gaylord's is all about the butter chicken. Just go straight in. Go straight and don't let the name fool you. Okay, women are welcome. It's a lovely place.
I have nightmares from a time in school. Okay, I went to Cathedral, by the way.
Oh my God.
Yes. So,
how shameful is that experience?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you'll empathize with this. So, fourth standard, we had to get food for everyone. Everyone was getting their own food.
Right.
My mom decided to get a packet of those round pizzas, from Gaylord's.
Yeah, the small size thing.
So I had a plastic bag that said Gaylord's in Cathedral School.
Oh boy. Oops. And for 4 years after that, they smirk when you passed. Yeah. Well, he's so Lord-like.
It's shaped my personality since then.
Hey, don't worry. People can call you names. At the end of the day, you're the one with the taal. That's the main thing. All right. And this is my last question, which is, see, Parsis and Bohris are like country cousins, okay?
Absolutely.
There's a lot in common. So do you give a Parsi discount? Because of the, I would think it perhaps would be in the fitness of things for you
TBK, we have a policy. We don't give discounts.
Damn you! Damn!
We give free samosas.
That's it?
That's
Every time I talk to you about this, you just take out your one small free measly samosa, crack it open, put some limbo in his account. Chalo, off you go. All right, brother. Listen, it's a wonderful experience talking to you. I just love the way you left Google, giving it the big shove off. Google, shove off.
No, I don't. I left
Don't say that?
No, don't say that.
Okay? Google, we love you. No shove off. And I've decided to go into this, full steam ahead. And I think it's going to do really well. So thank you so much for being on our show. But before we let you go, what's the website once again? Let's plug it.
It's thebohrikitchen.com. In case my pronunciation was bad and you want a phone number instead, it's 9819 447 438.
There you go, thebohrikitchen.com. Coming soon, an experience from Yemen through Gujarat in Mumbai. All at one shop, the Bohri Kitchen. Good? Good for you?
Fantastic.
Good for
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's actually what my aunt sounds like. Hopefully she doesn't hear this podcast ever. But as we say bye to Munaf Kapadia, we keep him here for a minute or so because we have to discuss what is called the AMAs with our producer Amit Doshi. These are questions that come in for the podcast and we want you to help us with it. Hopefully it will be food related. So here it is, the AMA with a man who knows his food as well, Amit Doshi.
If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
All right, here the AMAs. We have Munaf Kapadia himself, and now Amit Doshi takes him on in a war of brilliant brains.
All
Amit,
right.
please ask your question.
Brilliant brains, okay. Understatements, but all right. So this is an interesting question. It comes from Sham Soni. Greetings from Darjeeling, and I introduced myself as a
I've been to Darjeeling, by the way. Huh?
So have I, actually.
Yeah. Let me ask you a Darjeeling question.
I can't
How many
answer
tigers
that.
are left in Darjeeling? Because they have a place called Tiger Tops. And your time starts now. And the answer is none. Okay, well, go on.
I got no clue. All right.
What do you think Darjeeling is all about tea? There's much more.
That's all I did when I went to Darjeeling. I stayed at some
Is
tea
that all you
stalls,
did?
and I
Yeah.
I was like 11. That is all I
You
did.
were 11?
Yeah.
What if they send you Darjeeling?
It was our family thing. We used to
You
go
were
on
caught
a
stealing or
weekly,
something.
No, we used to go for a yearly trip to like some North India place.
It was lovely there. Nevertheless, people, I think the biggest problem with India is the population. Throw all the Indians out and it'll be a lovely country. At least throw 30% out. You think it's possible?
Unlikely.
I know the government is doing its best, but
Actually, there's a blueprint somewhere.
oops. Yeah, go on.
All right, okay. I introduced myself as a professional tea taster auctioneer based in the region of Darjeeling. As you are the only one who appeared in my mind as taking some tips on how to become a big talk show host. I request you to throw some light on the subject by providing me with some quick tips.
He's a tea taster.
He's a tea taster come auctioneer.
This is one of those all America, all India sort of stories. tea taster becomes
auctioneer.
Jay Leno of India in 15 minutes. Sorry, I don't know if there's a path like that. And if I could be a tea taster, I'd flip right now.
Yeah,
honestly.
you would pick that over what you're doing right now.
You're in lovely Darjeeling, surrounded by beauty, less population. People are very nice, well-mannered. The weather is good 8-9 months a year. And you just have to avoid the visitors.
That's where this guy moved to, right? I think I know somebody who moved over there to Darjeeling because it's just like, nice weather.
We live
no
in
pollution.
Mumbai. Everything is nice. Leave Mumbai and everything is nice. Yeah.
I guess that's true. All right.
So what do we tell him? Let's ask Munaf. Munaf, he wants to be a talk show host. What I don't like is the question, don't like, but what I feel bad about is when they say successful or big talk show host, because that adjective doesn't help. How the hell do you first get him to be a talk show host, and then how do you guarantee success?
Well, I don't think...
in my vast years of experience as a talk show host myself,
There you go.
which is not existed.
Yeah.
I just say that, take away the adjective and instead just try to do something without spending money. So luckily you have things like YouTube and whatnot.
There you go.
Yeah.
And he could start with perhaps a tea channel where he discusses only tea.
That's exactly
and
the
after
answer to this.
he gets only 3 people on the channel, he realizes tea is a waste of time and he moves to coffee.
So the second rule is make sure it's entertaining, man. Like whatever your core product offering is.
You know, I don't even believe that. I think, and I don't want to be sexist, get a pretty girl. Because I'm always, when I serve things, if there's a pretty girl like CNN proper, I like to watch all the pretty news hosts. Sometimes I don't even put the volume on. I don't know why I do that, because it intellectualizes my experience of entertainment. I sort of look at pretty girls who are on channels which mean something, and they're discussing war in the background or whatever, but I'm looking at them and getting something out of it and feeling that my equity in the intellectual capacity has grown. Coming back to Mr. Darjeeling, sir, my point is that we don't know. Contact Nikhil Chinnappa, 92116499, and let him guide you with the talk show experience. Because I'm an out-of-work circus clown. Because every time I try to apply, the circus is gone. By the way, have you guys been to the circus?
No.
Is it still relevant?
I think it's... wasn't it made
I don't know. I
illegal
went
in India?
I went to Rambo Circus and returned Kunal, my friend.
No, but that must have been like 10 years ago or something, right?
What I mean, they come every year, but they always park in Bandra.
I thought they made the circus
No.
illegal.
It's a very grey area. There's groups that wanted shot and all that, but there are lots of people involved. It's their money, the animals. What will you do with them?
It's really cruel, man. I mean, like, circuses are done.
The political circus, by the way, is always available.
That's always
and
cool.
it's cheaper.
Yeah, that is true. It's
Huge tent. Yeah.
The next question we have is from Rahul Raman. Cyrus, I'm not able to understand anything on Quantico. Do you know what's happening?
Now, this is a question for Ramanujan. This is a question for one of the greats of all times, for Pythagoras, for Aristotle. I don't think I'm equipped here, and I don't think Munaf, who's a foodie, who's not a foodie, this guy is a foodie, is really the right guy to talk to. Because she has taken art to another level, and we are not ready for her. We are not worthy of Priyanka Chopra. Because I watched Quantico, and by episode 3, her accent is more American than Americans. Now she's gone towards Nicaragua or something. The accent is South American by episode 5. So, yeah, I think for B-grade sort of writing show, they've actually scaled down to D-grade now.
Oh, really?
But on the other hand, it's nice to have an Indian in a lead in a show. Yeah. And Munaf will now give us the other side.
See, the other way I see it is, I think Quantico is an amazing PR experiment. Okay, where America's got something they wanted, which is a pretty Indian who's fairly well.
And the demographic of market here, which they want.
And she's nailed it. Like, because of Quantico, she's on a Times cover, I think, right?
See, Americans didn't know that there are brown-skinned people outside America, because in America they're Mexicans. They're different. So they didn't know that we exist and that there are 1 billion plus of us. Now they're going to have a Chinese Priyanka Chopra in the next show, I'm told. And they too will fight each other. So they'll have all these populations watching. I think it's brilliant. I feel bad for the people from small countries like Sri Lanka. You're never going to see when you 12 million people, America's like, wow, come on, sorry, you can't fit in a McDonald's, man.
No graphics scene.
Yeah, no
Every
point.
Quantico season, they should introduce like a new demographic.
For big countries like Brazil and all, The small countries have no chance, man. I mean, if you're one of those Papua New Guineas or something, there's no hope for you. You may have the best actress in the world, but to be like, sorry, no demographic, sorry, bye. But Priyanka, I'm so proud. And when she got the Padma Shri, I cried. But I cried for different reasons, but still, I'm so proud. Because when she started as a Miss India contestant, 17-year-old girl, I was one of the guys who hosted that show.
Oh, okay.
I remember. So we met all of them, and they were all so sweet and nice. And she touched me a lot. And I was not comfortable because we were sitting close to each other in this question-answer session, and her hand was on my shoulder all the time. I'm a typical male. I freeze when a woman touches me, because I'm so not used to it. So my reaction is not, I'm not like, relax and all. I'm like, so I'm like, and Priyanka, and she had an accent even then. And by the way, she studied in America for a long time. She did a 3-year course for 5 years or something. It was like a long thing. And then so she kept holding my shoulder, and my shoulder till today, it's like stiff. Unfortunately, it's the only thing that is stiff. So my entire love life has changed post Priyanka and pre Quantico. I'm caught in that bubble between those two terrible moments. Have you answered the question?
I think we answered as much of this question as we possibly could.
Yes. But just please don't make the mistake of comparing Priyanka with Yash Chopra. And those films, because that's a whole different ball game altogether from Quantico. They would never make a Quantico. Never.
They would not. No. Too much logic in Quantico.
No, and they'll give you Indian food in America if they shoot there also. So it's a terrible experience. Believe me, a lot of these film units do that. I've spoken to people. So you go to the New Zealand, you expect steak and all that. What you get is a dal chawal with the Indian cooks.
Because they take the caterers with them.
They take caterers with them.
Yeah.
And then you see New Zealanders walking around with, big hamburgers and all. You're like, oh, dal chawal. Sorry. Next question.
That's it. Yeah.
Munaf, thank you for being on our show. You've been wonderful. Thanks for wearing less clothing. It's always a stimulating experience for all of us. And we are all going to go to the Bohri Kitchen as soon as possible.
Awesome, thank you.
And
Thank
is
you.
there any dessert other than Ferni?
So we do sheer khurma sometimes. We
And?
do karamra. If you
Okay,
know
what is karamra?
It's super simple: rice, milkmaid, sugar-based.
Milkmaid as in condensed milk?
Yes.
You got me. You got me, I'm in. I love condensed milk.
Milkmaid
Full-on
is
hero.
like, that's just...
I'm not even interested in the maid.
Yeah.
Generally, I should be. But milkmaid, I'm more interested in the milk. And not the milk from the maid, which is another experience
Oh God.
from another culture.
Yeah, that's different.
Munaf, your mom should never hear this show. Ever. Okay, catch us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Beyond Pod, any of the podcasting apps. Please, we beg you, we need you. If you have any questions, write to us online and you can mail us as well. We will answer. We have a doctor in the house called May.
And that's what Cyrus says.
All right, time to look at the podcast, P-A-O-D-C-A-S-T. It's, we have to push the pun from time to time because it's an audio medium. We can't write it for you. Hosted by the DailyPow.com's Purva Mehra, Pranoti Datta and Amit Gurbaksani. The podcast is your fortnightly lowdown on Mumbai's food and culture scenes. Plus, if you pay them money, they'll talk about your family and other animals.
Our podcasts bring all the boys to the yard, and damn right, they're better than yours. But you don't need to stand outside in the yard. Just follow IVM Podcasts on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We might be on Tinder too. Just go ahead and swipe right.